Phantom Thread was written and directed by author-director Paul Thomas Anderson. This was the first Anderson film I have seen, and now I totally understand the praise he constantly receives. Phantom Thread is unlike anything I have seen in theaters, and that Anderson, his cast, and the way the picture is framed is utterly brilliant, and would have been on par with the legendary works of Hitchcock like Vertigo and Rear Window. As well as being on par with Hitchcock, the film explores geniuses and how their significant others are at the behest of their partner's obsessive creative decisions, and how they need to fight for their own attention separate from the obsession.
When I was a boy, I started to hide things.
Now, I know it is a bold claim to put Phantom Thread and Anderson alongside these brilliant pictures, but Anderson and his actors, Daniel Day-Lewis as Hout dressmaker Reynolds Woodcock and Vicky Krieps as his muse Alma, bring the elegance with the dressmaking and the inherent attitude that is typical of English aristocratic society, but they also display raw emotion in which both Rear Window and Vertigo bring to the screen.
You look beautiful. Very beautiful. I have things I want to do.
Anderson and his actors play their roles so well as they're able to control the audience and how we are feeling. Right from the very beginning of the film, the audience is given an explanation as to why Woodcock acts the way he does, and we are shown the consequences of how his relationships have worked in the past before meeting Alma. Even with this, we accept his legitimacy as we see the lavish lifestyle that he lives, with his posh apartment and his fancy clientele that he has. Even when he first meets Alma, the audience is made to believe that it is the kind of chance meeting love story where boy meets girl and they fall in love. But this changes as when he brings Alma home and starts to get her undressed, in walks his sister. The audience is so entranced by the trappings of his lifestyle, we don't see his clearly calculated motives to use Alma for his own gain. It's right there in front of us, but we don't see it. Just as one would with Hitchcock's masterpieces.
Maybe not. Maybe you have no taste.
There's so many parallels to Hitchcock's films and Phantom Thread, but what stood out to me the most about the picture and what makes it so unique is its depiction of creative genius and the relationships they have with romantic partners and how their creative tendencies or obsessions get in the way. We often worship those who we see as brilliant or who have wildly creative minds as we can't imagine how they are so brilliant and how they're able to create so imaginatively. But we often don't look at their true selves, their humanity, how they treat others around them, and while they might be amazing at their field, they are usually lacking in others. Throughout the film, we see the method to Woodcock's creative genius, or madness, as some would say, in that he has a clear and strict schedule, and should anything interrupt his schedule, his mood is completely thrown off and can no longer function with others.
I'm taking it out.
Yeah, but it's a bit late now, isn't it?
But I'm taking it out.
The tea is going out. The interruption is staying right here with me.
Once Alma is let into the Cave of Wonders, that is Woodcock's apartment/maison, she starts to shed her walls and be herself within the relationship they have. But she soon clashes with Woodcock's routine, and they begin to argue. Alma starts to understand that he has two different sides to him. One is the obsessive, where everything needs to be perfect, and where you need to adhere to the superstition, and the other side is the soft, loving, caring, vulnerable side to him, where he only shows in very small amounts, and the two can shift at any moment. In order for her to get his attention, she at first goes to surprise him, but when her plan doesn't work out, it leads to her taking extreme action, where she's risking life and death just to have her lover's full attention. We see her struggling and start to almost root for her, but when it's revealed what she wants to do, you start to question her as well, which again shows how masterfully the film is formed. Overall, I loved Phantom Thread as it is a brilliant piece of filmmaking and is a thought-provoking piece on how we see creative geniuses, their humanity, and the struggle their significant others have in competing for their genius's love or attention. However, I became unsettled at the end of the film as I felt that no relationship should go as far as theirs did, as it was disturbingly unhealthy.